Hello and welcome back to the channel. So this week I had to pull the boat out. The lake water is just getting a little too low. It does this some years. There's reasons, but we'll maybe get into that sometime in the future. But I had to pull the boat out. So boat's out and it's been sitting at the dock all summer and it is super dirty right now. So today we're going to be cleaning the boat, but I'm going to be using a product to clean the boat that is going to seem like maybe this is like a paid advertisement. It's not. It just works so well. It's amazing. But I'm still waiting for it to show up from Amazon. So in the meanwhile, I'm going to pressure wash this guy and get it relatively clean. We'll do some cleaning on the inside and we'll get it cleaned up a little bit. But this scum right here that you can see down here, the whole lower side of the boat that is covered in algae, I'm not going to be able to get off without this product. So let's get into it. So up here in the front, you can see how heavy this algae is growing in here. And you can see where it did kind of, when it was still wet, a lot of it got rubbed off by the bunk there as it was getting pulled onto the boat. But you'll see it's basically impossible to get off at this point. And we'll just do a little bit of a walk around here. There was one spot, I thought there was some super heavy stuff, but yeah, you can just see it's almost even green in some spots here. It's real heavy. And this is, we haven't cleaned anything. So there's just, even up on parts here, there's just a little bit of dirt up here on the boat. It's just hard to keep it clean when it's on the dock. You can actually see, let's see right here. Let's see if this shows up. This sort of like almost like blooming pattern that shows up on here where some of the algae gets really thick. So we're gonna get all of that off of here today. But first, we're gonna hit everything with the pressure washer and just give it a quick rinse off, and we'll just do a little bit of quick cleaning here real quick initially and get it kind of cleaned up a little bit. Do a little cleanup. Just to be clear, any opportunity I have to use the foam can, I'm going to use the foam can on it. So first things first, we're gonna spray this down, hose it off, foam it up, clean it up a little bit with a brush and pressure washer, get things just looking a little better. So we did the initial rinse, wash, little scrub with a soft brush. And as you can see, I still have all the scum down there. Let's go take a couple of looks at a couple of things, a couple of other options we could do before we get chemical with this guy, of how we could get this off. It would be a lot of work. All right, we're looking at the stern of the boat here and just rubbing this with a wet cloth. Really, if I really scrub, it takes some of it off, but it's still discolored. Even here where it's looking lighter, it's not as light as it should be. And I can really scrub it even with this guy, with like a soft brush or a soft Brillo pad. It doesn't hardly do anything. So the microfiber cloth gets a little bit off, but it doesn't get it all off. So I'm gonna keep cleaning the rest of the boat and just give it another once over on everything, get everything looking pretty good. When the Starbrite hole cleaner shows up, we'll do the whole boat or the whole bottom part of the boat, and you'll see just how quickly and easily that works, as opposed to having to manually scrub this by hand down on my knees for hours, what would have taken hours. All right, it took Amazon a little longer to deliver than I thought they were going to. It arrived, so I have the cleaner, and let's just flip the camera around and take a look at it. So this is the magic. This is Starbrite Instant Hole Cleaner. I have been using this for the last, I'd say 4 to 5 years to get my hole cleaned at the end of the summer every year. It is amazing, and we're just gonna do a quick demo and show you how it works right now. I've applied this in 2 different ways. I've put it into a garden sprayer and sprayed it onto the boat. And I've just poured a little bit into a bucket and then used a soft brush to wipe it on. I think for this, it looks a little bit more impressive to use the brush. So I'm just gonna record this using the brush. So we're just gonna, give me a second, I'll pour this out, put it in a bucket, and then the next thing you'll see will be wiping it onto the underside of the hole right here. Okay, so this is gonna be real time. I got this brush here. I'm just gonna dip it into a bucket of solution here to just get it a little bit wet. And then we're just gonna wipe a little bit on. So that's it. I am wearing some gloves, and you can see, look at how quickly that cleaned it off. And then if I wipe it off again, my brush is spinning around. That quickly, it just melts the color off and it becomes instantly white again. That was real time. This was not sped up. There's no nothing odd going on. And you know, if you look right here, you can see the line of where the chemical touched and where it didn't, and how crisp and clean that is. It just cleans it up immediately. And compared to, you know, this would have taken 40 minutes of scrubbing. So, it really works super well. I highly recommend this if you have a boat to clean that's been sitting in a slip for a while and it's got some algae built up on it. This stuff works amazingly. And again, this is not sponsored. If Starbrite wants to sponsor me or send me something, that'd be awesome. But I doubt they'll even see this. I've been using this product for 4 or 5 years, and you know, when I had my old boat, in the first summer, I'd let it sit out into the in the lake here. I was like, oh man, I've totally stained it. Like this is the color that it is forever. It's permanently brown on the bottom. And I tried a whole bunch of things. I tried stuff that was listed on the internet of Simple Green and other cleaners, toilet bowl cleaners, and nothing worked the way that this is. This takes this stain off instantly. And I'm just gonna flip the camera back now, because I feel like in the few minutes we've been talking here, or I've been talking, we haven't been talking, I've been yapping, it's even whiter. And this is with no brushing. This is just literally, it goes on, and that's it. So I'm gonna apply this to the rest of the boat and get it all cleaned off. I have now cleaned this half of the boat with the Starbrite, and you can see the brown line that was all along the bottom here is completely gone. And I've got almost all of it off there. There's a little bit of foam there is actually what that is. I haven't even sprayed this off yet. This was all cleaned off with a incredibly fast pass. This probably took me less than 5 minutes to just take the brush and wipe it over everything. I didn't even re-wet the brush. It was wet once with the solution, and I was able to cover everything on this entire side of the boat in about 5 minutes, and this was just the absolute first pass. And so I just used a long brush and reached under everything in. All right, so it's actually a couple days after I filmed the initial video, and I was going back looking through some of the footage, and the end results just didn't really pop out the way I thought they would. Partly because as I was filming that day, it got overcast, and so by the end of the day, it was a little darker out, and it just wasn't as bright, and I just didn't feel that the results popped on camera as much as they do in real life. So I just want to say, you can see the hole back here behind me, and I'll maybe flip back to a couple of pictures here while I'm talking over this, but you can see how crisp and white they are. Everything is really white. Even the spots where I could kind of rub off some of the algae before, it really never got crisp and white underneath of it until I applied the Starbrite hole cleaner. That really brought out sort of the bright white of the whole back and got it to where you can see it right here. So this, look, like I said already before, this is not a sponsored video. I just find that this product really does an amazing job cleaning, and you know, you could spend all day with brushes and scrubbing to maybe get the same result, or you can do it in 5 to 10 minutes. It's super fast. So when I do it, like I said, I think I actually use a little bit less product if I put it on the brush because it just takes so little to do. I have applied it with a garden sprayer, like I said before. I think that uses a little bit more just because it's hard to, you end up putting quite a bit more on. And then I also feel like when I'm doing it with the sprayer, I don't know what's in the hole cleaner, but I end up wearing a respirator just to be safe. So I feel like I'm not breathing as many fumes if I put it on with the brush. So that's kind of why I've switched to doing that. It's a pretty expensive product. I'll include the link to Amazon to it in the description here. But I only used maybe a quarter of the bottle that I've got to do this. I probably could have even used a little bit less. So that's it for this review. I think this is top 10. This is easily a 5-star product. I love this. I will continue to buy it, and I'll continue to suggest it to people if they're like, hey, how do you get your boat so clean? I use Starbrite hole cleaner. It's amazing. So thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.